So good morning or good afternoon, depending on where you are. My name is Hannah McDonald, and this is my husband, Alex Miller. And we're going to be talking to you today about Vetiver. Have you ever had any experience, restlessness, anything like that? Have you?
Are you asking me?
Yes, I'm asking you.
Oh.
Sorry.
Okay, I thought
Have
you were
you
asking them.
have you snored at night?
Yeah.
He snores at night, you guys, and it's terrible. Like, I
I've never
can't live
noticed.
like this when he snores. Like, seriously, if anybody lives with a snorer, you understand. So we'll be talking a little bit later about what we do for his snoring, because it saves my life, you guys, and I don't have to sleep in a different room. But let's go over really quickly where vetiver is from. So doTERRA's vetiver actually comes from Africa, and specifically
Northwest
Northwest Africa. And I don't know if it's like the whole region, but when we were looking it up on doTERRA's website today, it was looking like...
Oh, wait, no.
What?
Okay, I got it wrong, sorry. It's from, like, the doTERRA's sourcing it from Haiti, primarily.
Oh, do they source it primarily from Haiti?
I was looking at
He knows better about sourcing. I'm so sorry. But for some reason on doTERRA's website, they make it look like it comes mostly from Western Africa. So that's fun. But it is a fantastic oil that's good for creating a relaxing environment. It's really good for like mood stabilization and balancing as well. And so it's a really good oil to use right before you go to bed, or if you really need, like, honestly, for me, it's more of like a sedating oil. So I wouldn't use it just to like calm down after a stressful day, when you still have things to do, because if it were me, I would just fall asleep. So, but it does have a really grounding effect on your emotions. Again, I would probably use it at the end of the day. You should just kind of see how it affects you before you try using it if you have other things to do, right? Like, give it a test and see how it affects you.
Yeah.
Because everybody's different. There is some research that does suggest that vetiver can also support your immune system when taken internally, and usually that's just like 2 drops in a veggie capsule, and just take it with water. I like to take any supplement with like a little bit of food. I feel like it gets my digestive system working a little bit better. I don't know if there's any science to that at all, but that's what I like to do. I prefer it that way. Then, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I lost my little list. Okay.
Well, anyway, I was going to say something.
Oh, yeah. Go for it.
I was just going to say, like, a lot of people, like my dad especially, they'll use vetiver instead of lavender because, like, lavender is kind of known as, like, the main sleep oil for a lot of people. Like, that's what everyone thinks of, and, like, even people that aren't in doTERRA or even, like, the essential oil industry know about it.
Yeah.
But vetiver, like, for a lot of people, is also, like, that other option.
Right.
And, like, a lot of people don't think about that. Like, and, some people, lavender doesn't really work, and, like, vetiver might. You kind of have to, like, try to find, like, the right oil for you when it comes to, like, sleep or whatever it is.
For sure.
So I think it's a really good oil, too, like, if you have a friend or whoever, like, somebody who is trying to find something to help with sleep.
Right.
Whether they're familiar with essential oils or not, vetiver is, like, a good option to, introduce them to, because, like, everyone knows about lavender, and, like, people are used to seeing, like, the cheap lavender in the store, and, like, like, oh, I've tried lavender, but they probably tried, like, the $10 bottle, and doTERRA's is obviously better, but, you could even introduce lavender to them, or not, you could introduce vetiver to them, and it's, like, a new thing they've never heard of,
Yeah. That's a really good point, actually, because I do not like lavender, you guys. My mom used to put it in our baths as kids, and for some reason, like, to go to sleep, I guess I just, like, negatively associated it after that, because, like, as a kid, you don't want to go to bed. And so I was like, you know, like subconsciously probably I was like, absolutely not. I'm gonna go to bed? I don't think so. So vetiver was kind of like that secret sauce for me that kind of made it work. I actually pair my vetiver with Serenity, and that works really well for me. And I put that on the what's that? Is that the ball of your foot? Like right by where your toes are? Is that what it's called? It's the ball of your foot. Okay. Anyway, so I like to put it on the balls of my feet, and then sometimes it works really well to put it on your spine as well. Just along your back is really awesome too. But I remember one of my mom's first oils that she put on me when she started doTERRA was actually Serenity, and then she did Serenity and Vetiver. But I remember she was like, I'm just gonna put these on your feet. Like she came into my room one night and she was like, I'm just gonna put these on your feet. And I was like, that's really highly suspect. Like, what are you doing to me? And but I was like, fine, whatever, like put your stuff on my feet and get out of my room, right? Because I was like 13 and I was super like teenager, whatever. And I like instantly fell asleep, and I was like, oh my gosh. And it was like the best sleep I'd ever gotten. And I woke up the next morning and I remember walking into the kitchen. My mom can literally attest to this. Like I walked in and I was like, what did you put on me? And she's clapping right now because she knows. But I was like, what did you put on me? I fell asleep immediately. I didn't wake up at all. And like, I feel fine. You know, and for me, when I sleep normally without any oils or anything, I usually either have a hard time falling asleep, I don't stay asleep, or I wake up feeling exhausted. And so vetiver with Serenity has really been a solution for me in terms of that. So that's been awesome for me. Now for Alex, okay, so guys, we got married 2 years ago, and for the first like year of our marriage, he did not snore at all.
What?
Well, kind of, but like not a lot. And then in the second year, we got a new like bed frame that was like a little bit more like solid, and I don't know, something changed. Anyways, so he started snoring like so badly. And I remember laying in bed one night and I was like, I can't live like this anymore. It was like, I can't live like this. So I called my mom and I was like, I need help. Alex is snoring all the time and I have no idea what to do about this. And she was like, try vetiver and thyme on the bottom of his feet, especially like on his big toe and then the ball of his foot. And I was like, okay, cool. So we did thyme and then vetiver because I personally do not like the smell of thyme. And so we did thyme and vetiver, and it completely like helped. He wasn't snoring. He slept really well. And I mean, do you feel like you slept better because of it?
I don't know. I really like using vetiver though. Like it has like a calming like effect.
Yeah.
I just like the smell of it. Really like. I don't know. I don't know if I've noticed like a huge difference in like my sleep because I already sleep really well most of the time.
Good. I'm glad
But
one
if
of
it
us
helps
does.
you sleep better, that's really good.
But I definitely sleep better. So that has been a huge plus for me. So the other thing that I wanted to talk about with vetiver, we kind of skipped over a little bit of like the sourcing and everything. So I wanted to go back to that because it does come from Haiti. Oh, you know why? Because I'm looking at this map now and it literally has like an arrow into Haiti, but when it's expanded, it like the way they make it
It's
look
like
like it's like Africa. It's so weird. Anyways, so but it takes 3.5 pounds of vetiver to make
the oil.
1 bottle of oil, you guys. Like that's crazy stuff. It takes, that's just, I mean, like, I don't know. I know that like rose, there's like, it's so much rose that goes into making 1 bottle.
It's like 1 billion.
But it just goes to show like how concentrated, you know, this oil really is and how powerful it can be. So, and then a couple of the oils that it blends well with are lime, lemongrass, and I think that says patchouli. So really like heavy oils. I would say If you're going to blend with anything or put it into your diffuser, be very, very careful. Resin oils don't really work in diffusers that well.
It's heavy.
It's very heavy. So I would literally do like 1 drop of vetiver, or maybe 2, because what you don't want to have happen is you don't want your that oil to drop down underneath the water and get onto the little disc inside your diffuser. If you've seen the inside of your diffuser, you know what disc I'm talking about.
And when I was gonna say, and when you're taking out of the bottle, like I find, I know you like do the little tap thing, but like if you try to like get it out by hitting, it never works. You kind of just have to like, you know, tip it over and let it take its time to come out, and it will start coming.
So I have a hack about this.
Oh yeah.
Can I share my hack?
Yeah.
But yes.
I was also gonna say, like, sometimes it'll also like crystallize and stuff and get hard, and then you have to like just put it in warm water to loosen it up.
Yeah, exactly. So vetiver is a really interesting oil in terms of storage, because it really likes to crystallize kind of like honey. We have weird birds in the tree. It kind of likes to crystallize on the outside, and it's really hard to get the cap off sometimes. And anybody who has a bottle of vetiver knows that it's like the most frustrating thing. And I think I have like scars on my hands from doing that. Myrrh does it too. But it's a really frustrating thing. So anyways, I actually like to take a little, like a dropper top. You can find them in like at any of the supply stores pretty much now. And you basically just take the orifice out. You'll need to get like a knife. But I don't know why we're not using the bottle for demonstration purposes. It's right here. But so this little orifice reducer right here, I like to pop that out using a butter knife and just kind of go all the way around and pop it out. And then, oh, sorry, the dog hears the birds and she's scared. Should be the other way around, but it's not. Anyways, so I take the orifice reducer out and then just use the dropper instead. So it's going to be a lot easier to apply to a diffuser. Sorry.
Hey,
she does need vetiver.
Should we put her in?
No.
So she can see vetiver?
Should we? I don't know if we want to put vetiver on her right now. Maybe she'll take a nap all day. Anyways, but so that's what I would do to replace this, because it is really hard to get a drop out of this. I mean, like I literally I tip it over. I'm not even scared of like doing this because it's such a heavy oil. Okay, now it's coming.
There you go.
Do you want some? Put it on Charlie here. But I like to tap the bottom like this.
I feel
and
like
you have to tap for a while. There we go. It's a very like maple syrupy kind of feeling. Just no, put it on her paw, like on the bottom of her paws. What did you do?
I don't know. I just rubbed it on her fur because she's
funny.
too far away.
Okay. What? Okay. She gets the aromatic benefits of vetiver.
I'm worried that she's gonna sleep too much.
She'll be fine. He's like, we're gonna take her on a walk today down by the beach because our beaches have opened finally, and now he's worried that she's just gonna nap all day, but it'll be fine. So going back to vetiver, so on doTERRA's website, they recommend just putting vetiver on your hands, rubbing them together, and placing your hands over your nose and taking a deep breath. I much prefer applying them to like the bottoms of my feet because I still don't love the smell. And if you don't love the smell, that's totally fine. It's kind of an adjustment to get used to. One of the things that I would recommend is if you really don't like the smell, but you want to use it, I would put it on the bottoms of your feet and then just put socks on. That's what my mom used to tell me when I used this because I really did not like the smell. And so it was a good way for me to be able to, still use it.
It's like a generally good thing to do too. Like if you are going to bed when you put oils on and like you really want to like hold it in, is to put the socks on. Yeah. And vetiver is like a super strong smell, so sometimes it can be worth just doing that instead.
Yeah, right. But if you're putting multiple oils on your feet, sometimes it's nice to have your like bed smell like your oils, because
just depends on what you want. But vetiver is like, if you're worried about it, like getting on something, it's like a little heavier and like it's not sticky, but
yeah,
it's a little more like a resin oil. So I don't know. It might be a good idea if you want to like put socks on.
Definitely. Yeah. And then, so another thing that you can do, another way to apply it is actually putting it on your pulse points. This is for more of like that emotional soothing. And so that's an option as well. So vetiver, you don't actually have to, what's the word? Dilute. You don't have to dilute vetiver. It is what's considered a neat oil, which means it's not going to burn you, and which is really nice. We like oils that do that because you can just apply it and go. But if you do have sensitive skin and you're a little bit worried about how it may react, I would recommend using fractionated coconut oil or some type of carrier oil anyway. It may be helpful for you there.
And you can like, you could also use it too because it's like a little thicker.
Mm-hmm.
So that could help to like make it a little easier to like spread it around like more than you would otherwise be able to.
Totally. Yeah. So I do have to say though, we were talking about the internal, like how to take it internally earlier. I did forget to mention, like, please don't just drop it into your mouth. I feel like that would be really gross. And I would hate for anybody to actually do that. That would not be fun. That would taste really gross. So let's not do that. Let's just apply it in a capsule. So like I said, the 2 drops with water in a, what are those called? Like gel cap thing, like a veggie cap. Thank you. But that will work. You can, and that's another application method too. I mean, application. If you don't want to put it on your feet and you don't want to smell it at all, that's totally fine. Just take it internally, and it, it'll get into your body.
I can show the bottle with the topper on
it. Oh,
it.
you do? Okay, perfect. I can spotlight you for a second. There we go.
So this is it. It has a dropper. This is actually for a 5 ml bottle, but it still works. And I love it because, I can still get as much vetiver as I want. And this really is my secret sauce. People want to know what the smell is, and it smells just like you went to the forest and dug up dirt. I love it. I love it. It's super, super transformational for me. I want to just mention one thing. Like, this is also a really deep essential oil for healing emotions, and it heals the physical body, the heart, releases limiting beliefs. It brings a spiritual awareness because it really is such a rooting kind of essential oil. So that connection and that awareness is there. And it also helps you connect to your life's purpose and that fulfillment that you're looking for. So it's quite interesting when it comes to the essential oils and self-acceptance, on an emotional side. So I think that this is really just super important to remember that with all essential oils, you're going to have this kind of emotional benefit. And sometimes it's a secret unmasking, and sometimes it makes you aware. So it's just one of those essential oils that I think that, are beneficial.
So one more thing that I did want to say, and actually, it's really interesting that you said that it smells like, you went into the forest and you dug up dirt, because to me it kind of smells like sap, like tree sap.
Yeah, it reminds me of sap.
So if you have used vetiver and you have an experience, we would love for you guys to share them in the comments. doTERRA has done, I think when I looked at it, like 42 studies on vetiver alone. So they've done a lot of research on the oil itself and how it works. And I mean, I think that for me, like, it's a really powerful oil. I don't use it as much as I should, honestly, but I really do mainly just use it for sleep. It's just been like one of those powerhouse oils for me. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, I just think it's a nice calming oil. Like, it's just one of those oils that I like to use, like, probably not at the same time, but I really like, balance. I like lavender, I like vetiver. They're all just really nice, and like, you can change it up, but it's just a nice oil to put on, like, especially when you just like want to relax.
Yeah.
It says, I forgot to say it, like, it mentions that it's like a really heavily used massage oil.
Yeah.
It's like a really good to implement into like massage routines and things like that.
Totally. Yeah. I really like it for diffusing actually, but I like to do I only like to do 1 drop of vetiver, and then I do 2 drops of Serenity and 2 drops of Balance. And I really like the smell of that. If you don't like the smell of that, then you can, you know, mix it around, but those are some options there. If you don't have a dropper or anything like that, you can also use a toothpick actually to get the oil out of here. And so you just put it in the little center of that, in that hole, and you can get out some of the oil and then just kind of swirl it around your diffuser water or on your feet or wherever you're putting it. Anyways, so thank you again, you guys, for letting us come on here and teach you a little bit more about vetiver. It's a super powerful oil. If you haven't tried it, definitely try it and kind of come up with new combinations on how to use it. If you don't love it alone, you can add an accessory oil to it. It's really nice. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, and have a great day, you guys.